Alright, the first thing you're going to want to use on the AM40 is again the Fusion Hollow sight. I would think most people use this sight simply because it's definitely the best one. It's the most simplistic one, but of course you could always run whichever one you prefer, but this is the one that I prefer, and that's what I think would be best for this gun. Then next that I run is the Ghost Hybrid. I always run these two on basically every weapon I use. This is just my personal preference, but this sight, for example, right here is really good at taking out enemies at medium ranges, especially if you can't control the recoil on a weapon like this. It helps to have something like this and like be able to burst fire it or tap fire it. And then next for the barrel attachments, we have the Champion Muzzle Brake in the first slot. I prefer the Champion Muzzle Brake simply because this gun does have quite a bit of vertical recoil, and it helps me control it a lot better, and as opposed to the horizontal recoil, which I mean it's got a bit of horizontal recoil as well, but it's not really a big deal to me. I think the vertical recoil is worse than the horizontal, so I just run Champion Muzzle Brake. But of course I see a lot of people using the Warhawk compensator, which I mean more power to you if you want to run that, but I don't like the weapon accuracy decrease personally, so that's why I don't use that. And then in the next slot I have the 6KU suppressor. Again, a lot of people like to use rep suppressor, but me personally, I'm not a big fan of the projectile velocity decrease. It really does mess with me sometimes, especially when I'm shooting people at longer ranges, but I guess in this case you probably would only want to use a suppressor in close quarter fights anyways. But again, like I said, I prefer to use the 6KU suppressor simply because I don't lose any bullet velocity when I'm shooting at people. And then next, for the underbarrel attachment, we have the MGL laser sight. I don't see the point of using any of these other underbarrel attachments for this gun. The MGL one just seems to be the best for me, especially since this AR is more like a submachine gun than anything else. So it really does help to have this laser sight on it as opposed to like this one right here, because this one in particular when you're moving around, it does get bigger. If you know what I mean, like the thing will start to spread out when you start moving around, if you move around a lot. So that's why I prefer to use this one, because whenever you're running around, this laser sight doesn't, or the hip fire does not get any worse. It's always the same. So like I said, that's why I like to use the MGO laser sight. But of course, if you really want to, you could use this as a submachine gun too, if you really wanted to as well. And then for the magazines, we always use the drum mag in the first slot, and then we have the high power extended in the second slot, and then we have standard issue in the third one. You're probably never going to need any of these other magazines if you're running assault, but if you want to run like an AM40 with like Falk or one of the other support specialists, always have high power extended in the second slot, or if you prefer to have a faster reload, then I would stick the high power extended in the first slot and then have drum mag in the second. It's totally up to you, but again, this is what I prefer to use, and I think this makes for the best AM40 class. Anyways, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, if this helped you, do hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content from me. I would really appreciate it. And as always, I don't got nothing else to say. I got a few clips to show y'all in this video. This is what I was using. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Later. That was embarrassing.
That's one down!
Assault on Charlie 1 begun by our forces.
Reloading!
Our troops have captured Charlie Center. Attack on Delta 1 initiated by our troops. Enemy has lost some resources. Bravo sector fully secure. They control more sectors than us.
Enemy neutralized! Save some for the rest, sons!
We are attacking Delta 1. We've secured Delta sector.
Took one down! Time to reload.